Yo, what's up, shawties? Welcome to my bed. This is where the magic happens. Actually, I'm using a new Timu microphone. It sounds a little bit like a microphone that your like annoying fucking coworker would have on Zoom. But listen, man, I'm walking here, okay? Howdy diddly do neighbors. My name is the Pied Piper, and today I am doing another comic review. Wait, actually, let me make this actually. Hope it sounds great like this. We're doing another comic review. We're doing a comic review. Where this is the new meme where I'm gonna clap a lot, Comic review, okay? Well, this is not stealing off of anybody. We're doing a comic review. Anyways, today I'm doing a comic review on the comic Leg Less Traveled. I always forget the comic name somehow, but this one I was also close to remembering, which that doesn't count because I still forgot. This is a comic that I discovered like a 4 or 5 days ago about now, at Tuesday when I'm recording this, and I really like this comic. This comic is really good, and one thing that I think this comic does really well, it compares, or it doesn't compare, it shows how much a story, I think it puts priority on the story over the art. That's how I see it personally. And I think this is a really well written comic. It shines in the characters, it shines in its unique plot, and I think that's where it just shines. And also, leg less traveled sounds like a lyric in like the Beach Boys, all that this is that. Two roads in a traveled by, one took the leg less traveled by. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty cool, I don't mean to flex, but I'm pretty freaking cool. This is like that tick 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 tick. Oh, brother.
This guy's
Oh, finally, Jesus, this is so, like, it's typed so like hard. Jesus Christ. Okay, boom. Anyways, let's start the review. So I guess I decided to form this review a little bit differently from my first one, because the first one was kind of me dipping my toes into reviewing comics, because I don't really see a lot of people doing it, or at least I haven't seen a lot of people doing it. But basically, what I mainly review is gay romance comics, because that's the only comics I really read. If I read anything else, I'll probably review them. Anyways, so let's talk about the story, and let's talk about also the best part of this comic. So the story goes bases around the main character Fletch, which also has, where the name comes from, doesn't have one leg. It's later on revealed he lost a leg when hanging out with one of his friends, Kinsley. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing these names right. Kinsley. I don't give a shit. It's later on show how he lost that leg, which I think, surprisingly, as the name would imply, and like, the whole, idea of like, two people falling in love, one not having a leg, it doesn't play that big of a role in this whole story, which I actually unironically appreciate. A lot of times I think people would like hop onto one like certain like aspect, like maybe like thing, and they would just wait on the whole story, but this doesn't. There's a lot of scenes where it can be shown impacting his life, right? But I would also say there's a lot of scenes where you just kind of forget about it, and I think it's at a perfect point where it's balanced. Anyways, basically Fletch is preparing to go to a concert of his favorite band. I forgot the name. Put it up on the screen. Thank you very much. His goal is to go from South Carolina to California in a big trip across all of America, and I think this is another part where this comic absolutely crashes a W in, because this basically gives leeway to all the different themes. We're gonna see a Louisiana, Texas, Albuquerque, and California theme, and I think that plays well into the comics aspect, seeing different types of cultures and different types of things happening, which I really like and I really appreciate. Basically, Judas wants to get there. He is like, I can't wait to go on my favorite band, the Beach Boys. I wish they all could be. No, it wasn't like that. And basically, he's like, well, I have this ticket, and it flies away. And Judas goes into the fucking dog mines waiting for a tennis ball. He's like, runs and takes it, right? And what happens when you run over a street while looking left and right? You get crashed. A car hits you. Hey, buddy, I've been there, okay? He gets ran over, and then we get introduced to the second, I think, the main character we could consider. It's Judas, Judas, I'm really trying to remember what Judas is from the top of my head. I have a script written where I can like kind of catch up. But Judas is from New Orleans, and later on, it's revealed that he is related to the people that run the band that I forgot the name of. They can put on screen. And thank you, yes. It's later on also revealed that he was an ex-member who started a band and wrote the songs that got them big. And I also think this is another very cool way to, I think, make a story. I think that it's just unique. It adds some elements. And Judas, for unironically, the whole point up to the very end, hides this guy, okay? So basically, he runs over Fletch. Fletch is luckily alright. I mean, he has, like, you know, a fucking detachable leg, man. He's fine, the leg is fine, and basically, we get also revealed that he can't be late, right? Kinsley texts him, like, bro, we're about to go, don't be late, right? And he gets ran over, he starts freaking out, crying, and Judas is like, okay, bro, I'll drive you there. I can make it up to you. They drive there, and he's not there, and they're 1 minute late, and that event there sets up for all of the ripple in time. Later on, this sets up for Kinsley. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm getting his names mixed up. This sets up for Judas and Fletch bonding, and Kinsley going to fight against Judas, and the Kinsley's friends that are names I've also forgot. That's amazing. Great job from me. They also like are extra characters, right? And this sets up the whole of it. It's like a cut between there, where Judas and Kinsley, and no, Judas and Fletch, and Kinsley and his friends, which I forgot the names of. And I think one thing that I had like an interesting thought I'm thinking about is how lucky Fletch was. Fletch not only had to accidentally drop the ticket, right? Get ran over by a car, right? A car that was driven by a guy that was related to the band's name I totally forgot, right? And an ex-member of. He had to also be a little late, right? And all of that were to happen for them to start bonding, right? And basically, after that happens and after they're late, Judas says, I'll drive you there, okay? And that's where the story basically ends. I'm not going to run through it deep, but what this basically sets up for is Judas and Kinsley beefing with each other, while Fletch kind of being in the middle on Judas' side a little bit more. One thing that I kind of think this comic is a little weird on is homophobia, right? This is America we're traveling by, okay? Louisiana, Texas, no homophobia mentioned anywhere. Unless I am missing something here. I heard only one guy, like when Fletch was talking, to say, hey, what's the problem with that? You know, when he said that he was, you know, not straight. And in my personal opinion, it's just kind of weird. I mean, I get comics that don't want to make it the whole big deal, like, you know, a struggle, right? But I think there's a point where it's also kind of unrealistic to not have it, you know, if we're not talking about a fantasy world, right? It's just kind of weird how everybody that they meet, they're just like, they just don't really say it, they like act it, and they're like, yeah, I'm gay. It's kind of weird. Like, honestly, I was a little bit weirded out by that, but that does not hamper the story at all. I think if there was, it would be cool, but it does not. And through all these events, we get to meet a shitload of new characters. At the start, we also saw Fletch's mom, which is very overprotective of him because her only child is missing a leg, and she's very like, I don't want you, don't do, don't, right? Later on, Kinsley hates Judas so much, she takes a picture of Fletch, and Kinsley sends it to Fletch's mom, and then they really get angry when they meet to New Orleans, where they kind of hate on each other, or Florida. Where it was, I can't remember anymore. I think it was New Orleans. And basically, that New Orleans scene has to be one of my favorite bits. It's just very aesthetically pleasing. There's a lot of, we learn about Judas more, and I think it's just a really, really nice like a setting. And that's what I again love, is how the unique plot of them having to drive all across America, you know, to California. And that sets up a really like cool way to explore different parts of America and different cultures. Texas was also very awesome to look at, you know, like there's so many scenes that I'm just thinking of right now, like the scene where Fletch gets drunk, right? And this whole story is mainly around Fletch and Judas, right? And Fletch really opens up and grows into this more kind of a person, right? As we're speaking right now, the comic is not finished. It's close to being finished, and I really debated, should I make a video talking about a comic that's not finished? But it was so close, and the comic was so good, I wanted to talk about it. Anyways, heading on to the art fart section. This is not gonna be as full. The art in this is not bad. I don't want to say this art sucks. It's uninspired. It's ass. It's not. It's just really not my style. I mean, it's alright. I mean, at some parts I'm like, it just. But to me, I can ignore it. Like it's like I think comics is a very or comic as a media way is a very interesting balance between art and story, right? And depending on what genre you do, for romance at least, it's really art and story. I've read comics that have like the most unique and cool art style, but the fucking writing couldn't be good. I've met art styles where the writing and the concept is really cool, but the art style really falls it down. And to me, this is one of those times where the art is just outshined a lot by the story and the way it's written. Completely. I'm not gonna make a big fuss about like me not liking the art because I'm not that big of a fan of this art style, which is completely fine. I don't really like that much dairy products. You probably like dairy products, okay? I can start my morning without coffee. You can probably start it without with a coffee, or I can't speak today, guys. I don't know what has been. Maybe it's the fact that I haven't recorded a video in a while, but I can't speak anymore, okay? I'm ruined. This is the downfall of the Piper, okay? I really like this comic. If we're looking at it overall, I really enjoyed reading it. It was absolutely fun. I am every time it gets a new update, I'm looking at my tablet like it's just a great comic. I have many comics that every time they post something new, I'm looking at them, I'm seeing what the story goes, and for me, that's the great job of a comic. If it is so good that it makes me follow it every time it drops a new post. There are rare comics that do it. Like I guess I could give you some. I know a comic, Far Off. That's a great comic. It does that to me. I love Far Off. Which I'll probably make a video when it's ending. And that, if I even have a channel by that time, because it's not even on the middle point of its story, and then I'll do it. But yeah, the legless travel guy. And I should also probably give a rating. Oh yeah, I should give a rating to make this more entertaining for y'all who are watching. I think the legless traveled by. I think I should do 50 in story and 50 in art. And I think in story-wise, out of 50, it's a strong like 38, 39. I'll say 39 because to me, I think it's really well written. And there's a difference between really well and amazingly written. It's not bad, but it's amazing. And I'm just saying this right now. I'm really loving this comic. I absolutely love it. I really can't wait to see what they do next. Honestly, but in art, I would have to give it like 25. We're gonna cut it down the middle. Put those two scores together, and that's what I overall give it out of 100. I love this comic. This is a really good. Wait. Wouldn't that make up a really bad score out of 100? Okay, don't put it together. Don't put it together. Like, rip it apart, okay? That's what I'm giving it, okay? Don't put it together. Don't put it. I love this comic. I think this comic is very unique. I really want to see where it goes next, in my personal opinion, because it's very close to ending. I didn't spoil much of the story, but I also spoiled quite a bit of it. Just really want to see more comics like this with a great, really well-written story that I can just binge for 2 days because I read it all in 2 days. How much episodes does it have? 113 episodes. That's a lot. Also, the rating for it on Webtoons is 9.41. I'm gonna give it my Reddit review. I think I'll give it... I feel like I'm mean if I give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. Listen. I think it's really well. I think I really like it. The comic is great. There are parts where it misses like the art style. I mean, it's kind of like the, not the biggest thing, but I think it still does really well and overall. And this comic was made by Makukuli. Oh, it's a woman. I have a quick question for a woman out there. How are you able to write such good comics about gay men when you have literally no idea? How was it like? I'm trying to think of like being role reversed. It's like me writing a comic about lesbians. How am I able to do that? I have no fucking idea. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not straight, so it wouldn't make sense. But to me, that's like such an odd thing that people do that I don't get. How are they able to do? Like, how are you able to write such good comics? That's something you kind of know nothing about. I mean, that would sound a little mean, but you know what I mean. It's like, how do you do it? Any woman in the chat, please let me know. How are y'all able to do it? I don't know, because for me, I cannot read a comic about lesbians, or even if there's a woman in it. Not like because I don't have nothing against women. Because I only read romance comics, and I cannot relate when it's like a straight or like lesbian. I cannot immerse myself in the story. Right? It's just impossible. Okay? Maybe one day it'll change, but to me right now, it's impossible. Yeah, that's about it for this review. Hope you like this review. If you want to see more comic reviews, give me your thoughts and opinion. This is still a very new series, and if this releases, then we'll have 2 episodes. 2 episodes! And I want y'all to leave your opinions on how I can make this a little better. But if other than that, thank you very much for watching. Shout out to my Patreons, Deep Breath and the Music Hunt. See you on the next video. Like and subscribe. And now smudge with a pillow.